This is Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the GOAT once again, Claressa Shields. Good to have you back in the UK. You must be sick of being in the UK. You're here all the time.
I like it here. It's cool. Y'all is cool with me. I actually like the environment. I like the vibe. But now I'm here for different reasons, and I'm here with the PFL, and they're just teamed up with Channel 4, and hopefully next year I'll be having some MMA fights here in London.
Yeah, of course. We spoke earlier on this year about your first chapter of PFL, I guess we'll call it. So, looking forward, you spoke earlier on your aspirations in MMA. Not particularly. I want to be a world champion. You haven't got kind of an end goal at this point. Would you say that's kind of fair to say?
I do want to be PFL world champion, and I'm going to make that attempt next year in 2023.
Do you feel as if that's obviously such a difficult thing to do coming from? But
it's not easy, for sure. It's very difficult, but I have to challenge myself, and of course I want the belt and I want the $1 million, but I would be even satisfied if I made it to the finals, you know what I'm saying, or even the semifinals. But right now my mind is on just going in there, learning, doing my best, and letting these girls know, like, hey, we all came here to fight, so I'm gonna let you know that you're in a fight, and we can be friends and stuff after.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, not putting too much pressure on yourself to win necessarily next year. Would you be willing to fight in MMA beyond 2023?
I don't know yet. I haven't made that decision because I'm engaged. I'm a fiance, and I'm getting married in 2024, and I want to have my kid in 2024 because I don't have any kids yet. But I don't really know what happens after that. I know I'm definitely gonna box again, but I don't know if I'll continue MMA. It's a catch-22. It really depends on how great I am next year.
I didn't know that was kind of bad. In terms of boxing after 2023, are you, obviously, Marshall fight, which we can go on to in a bit, are you wanting to box on for a while?
When?
Obviously, you say you're getting engaged, you're having a kid. Are you still going to be boxing after you have a child or after?
I'm definitely still going to box after I have my first kid. Yeah, for sure.
And obviously you spoke at the press conference about the money in boxing as well. How much do you think that's going to change over the next couple of years? And you're obviously going to have a massive part to play in that.
It's going to change a lot. It's going to be great. I think that Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, myself, all the other great women fighters who have actually put in the work and actually fought each other are going to make so much noise. And I think what we're proving to everybody is that women's boxing have fans. We can sell tickets, and if we're given the opportunity, you're going to see a crazy magnitude of fans, and you're going to always see it.
Yeah, obviously we saw Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano not so long ago. You were on the zone. A good job there building up the fight, and afterwards obviously you were talking about your fight with Marshall, but obviously the most important thing I took away was that when you started in the Olympics, to be there on that night, for you, it was so special.
Yeah, it was. I was there, and to go from, winning 50,000 when you win Olympic gold medal to now you see women. Because when I signed to turn pro, I didn't know what my career was going to be like. I didn't know there weren't women fighting on TV. I was the first woman to fight on mainstream, premium cable Showtime in history. It wasn't any woman that did that before me. So I kind of started that flame in the U.S., and then all of a sudden Katie got signed over here, and then Amanda Serrano, and then all these other girls were getting signed, and you have these world championships, you have undisputed championships, and it was just great to see. But now to see that we're actually at seven-figure paydays, we're fighting on at these big old arenas. I think that women's boxing has been deserved that, but now we're in a time that I don't think that women's boxing will ever go backwards from here.
What do you think happens in that second fight? It was obviously a really, really good first fight. How do you see the second one going?
Oh, man. Such a good fight. Such a good fight. I have to say props to both women and props to them to do it again. And if it's in Ireland, I'm going to book my ticket and be in Ireland. But, hey, let the best woman win. But like I said, when it comes to skill, I always say if you like Katie and then if you like me, you don't even have to put us as 1 and 2. It's 1A and 1B because the girl got skills, she got power, she's smart, and that's how she was able to prevail against Amanda Serrano. But I think Amanda Serrano is definitely not too far from being ranked number 2, in that she fixed a few mistakes that she can prevail. So I just look forward to being there at the fight.
So you and Katie Taylor, GOAT 1 and GOAT 2.
Sure.
Earlier on today, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, Alicia Baumgardner and Michaela Myatt seem set to fight.
Yeah, I seen it. It's a great fight for women's boxing. I'm kind of mad at that their fight got announced before me and Savannah Marshall did, because our fight hasn't been announced yet. Everybody keeps talking about it, but no one has announced the date. Sky hasn't announced the date, and neither has Boxer. But I've been given the date once again, and I can't tell you here, sorry, but I'm just waiting for our announcement. But I'm excited for Alicia Baumgardner and Michaela Mayer, and I hope to be there as long as it doesn't interfere with my camp for my fight.
So what's the latest on that Marshall fight? You've talked about it so much, but what news do you have right now?
She's supposedly injured, and we're fighting in we're fighting in December. September. That's all I know for right now. September is supposed to be, and will it happen? I hope it does, but she's the one who's supposedly dealing with some kind of injury.
It must be frustrating, obviously, the fact that it's been built up for so long now, this back and forth keep happening, the injury comes about. It must frustrate you.
The only thing that's frustrating is, like, the narrative. And I don't know why they're building this narrative that, I'm the reason that the fight hasn't happened between me and Savannah Marshall, that I've been ducking her, that I know that she can beat me, all this crazy mess, when it was like, no, I fought the best in my career in 3 different divisions, and I was undisputed up at 160, and the only reason why she's a champion is because I had to vacate that belt to fight for the undisputed championship at 154. And we already made her offers to even fight for the 160 belts, but her and her team wanted the belt for free, and she's fighting the girls, one or two girls who I fought early on in my career, and, she's knocking them out or whatever the case may be, and she's like, oh, that's what makes me better than you, but it's like, you haven't fought against a level A fighter yet. You haven't fought against a real 160-pounder yet, and they're building the narrative as if, yeah, I'm the one with all the belts, but she's the better fighter. And that's bullshit, because she's not. She's not the better fighter. She hasn't done anything since she beat me at the World Championship 2012. She didn't medal in either Olympics. World Championship, she did terrible. And I've beaten 4 or 5 girls who dismantled Savannah Marshall. I mean, she posted that picture of me crying when I was 17, when I had lost my first and only fight. But it was like, that's her problem. She loses fights with gratitude. She lost over 20 times and never shed a tear. She's okay with losing, and that's what makes me and her different. I'm not okay with losing, and that's why I've been so successful these last my whole fucking career. And that's why she hasn't fought a world champion yet in boxing, because she just doesn't have the heart to go out there and beat those girls. She was fighting at 175. She skipped the weight class 168, and now she's fighting at 160. And she thinks that she hits hard because she's fighting against smaller girls. But I think she forgets that I was once world champion at about 168, and I punched way harder than her. And I punched harder than her when I was 17, and it's going to be a hard fight for her. And that's why she's faking an injury, and she needs more time.
Ben, could I grab you for 2 seconds just on here quickly? We're rolling. Very, very close. Yeah?
I believe so. That's what I've been told a few times. We will see.
What's the date you're currently looking at, Ben?
I think we're looking at September the 3rd, early September, yeah. So, listen, Claressa, Savannah, they both want to fight. I think the difficulty is Savannah got a little injury, and they both just want to be 100% when they get in that ring, but it's going to make for a super fight. So, I think that it will be well worth the wait.
There's a lot of spike going into it.
Pardon? I think they've got that natural rivalry. I do believe underneath it all, Claressa might not agree, but there's some sort of respect there. At the end of the day, they both achieved a lot in boxing, and I think it's...
Nobody who didn't earn it. I've earned all my world titles, all my undisputed championships, my gold medals, and she's been living on my name for 10 years. So I know I don't have no respect for that.
Well, there you go. But that's what makes it such a big fight. And I think, that historic rivalry has gone throughout the amateurs. It's now in the professional. I think it's the first time we're seeing that in the sport, and that's what's exciting. And it's a monster event, and I can't wait for it to happen in September.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you, Claressa. We look forward to seeing all the women's fights, and obviously yours with Marshall Racing.
Yes, of course, thank you.